Welcome to Comics League Dark. I am Jared. I am here with Teladia Plays. What's up, brother?
This is hey, I'm back. For
And
a very
we are
good reason.
here with the biggest Lois Lane lover I have ever met. Robert, what's up, brother?
Probably second next to Superman himself, of course.
Well, okay, yeah, exactly. And we're here with the Heat Man himself. What's up, JJheat?
Flame on! How's everybody doing tonight?
All right. So before we get to...
Sorry, I'm just seeing something weird on my camera. You see that?
Yeah, I noticed
What the
that.
heck is that?
Oh, you mean this? That's the chat for like
chat. Sorry, it was just so weird. It was just so weird having on my face.
No, it's all good. But okay, so we're gonna start with this because before we get to like the actual topics, because here's the thing. Something was recently brought to my attention that I really feel like needs to be addressed at this point. And so here's the thing. You guys may have noticed that Nick has not been showing up to streams like at all since I actually have the last stream since like for 7 whole months, and there's a specific reason for that. Yeah,
you have him back one time at least. So besides
one time, but well, yeah. So it was like for the Superman game stream. Now here's the thing. It's like what happened was what was brought to my attention. So as you guys know, like we had him on for the Superman game stream and stuff, and for the most part, for the most part, it went okay. Now, I will say, looking back on it, I could see how uncomfortable you guys were, and I apologize for that. But, and you'll find out why in a second. But so what happened is recently Nick and I had a falling out, and you know what? I didn't bring it up because I'm not one to like start stuff. I'm like, okay, you know what? It's fine. Just hey, I wish you all the luck. I'll see you later.
Move on. Yeah.
Except the other day, like on Wednesday, it was brought to my attention that he has been talking crap about us privately. Well, not really privately, but on Twitter, but not naming us, but we know it's us. So so your boy actually took screenshots. Well, actually, Britt did and sent me said screenshots. So I want to share these because this is really egregious. Yes, I made a Word doc of all this. So it was in response to a tweet saying, give your thoughts on Superman and Wonder Woman being together. So actually, you know what? Before I play this, here's what happened. So at one point, I put out a tweet, and what the tweet said, I'm going to give you guys all of the context. I'm just going to scroll through my Twitter conversations. Bear with me, gents. And what happened was it was it's one of those things where it's very stupid that it got to this point or like that this ever was a conversation. But so what I did was I tweeted out, and I'm going to tell you why this was like, why is this in any way an issue? But I had tweeted out, okay, hang on. I'm trying to find that real quick. So, all right. So what happened was I tweeted out basically that, look, Superman, like the argument that Superman or Wonder Woman need a human love interest, quote, now I want to emphasize, I said the argument that these characters need a human love interest in order to be human or normal is kind of xenophobic. And I'm like, you can disagree with me on that, but I wasn't saying the pairings were xenophobic. I was saying the argument itself. That's why I said that, because obviously you can ship whatever you want. So I'm like, okay, well, within reason, as long as you're not being like a toxic individual, it's like, okay, that's like fine. I'm like, it doesn't really, in other words, it doesn't really affect me actually. So I might as well, like, I'm going to play this. Here's why it doesn't really like get me pissed off who you ship.
Okay. They're talking about fictional characters.
So I figured that was appropriate. So what happened was, essentially Nick retweeted the tweet, And it said basically that saying that a pairing is xenophobic is such an outrageous argument. It can only come from a shipper.
Okay.
And I go, what, Robert, was that what my tweet said?
Not even close. And trust me, I've had experience with shippers. You have not been a shipper. Okay, I mean, you have your favorite ship, but that's different from a shipper.
Yeah, exactly. So continuing on from that, so the argument devolved, and I figured, okay, you know what? We'll revisit it in the morning, or like I thought he would drop it because Britt got involved. So essentially, I did a handoff. I'm like, okay, you handle this. So
Right.
I went to sleep. I woke up the next day; it was still going down. And what happened was, I know JJheat. So what happened was, so Britt has been going through some family issues and stuff, so I wanted to take at least some stress off of her. And also, she gets a lot of hate online because of like the Super Wonder stuff and stuff, and again, abhorrent stuff. So I was trying to take some like stress off of her. So I DM Nick and I go, hey, listen, man, can you drop the argument because it's not really being productive? And then all this is in DMs. I'm not going to show them because I don't believe in leaking DMs. All I'm going to say is that the argument devolved. He basically said that, like, if she has a problem with me, she can DM me. He basically told me to butt out. I told Britt this. Britt was upset, but I told her, okay, so you know what? Just DM him and like explain everything. So I had to relay a DM because Britt and him were not mutual, so she couldn't DM him. Right. So I relayed it. And then the DM she relayed started off by saying, hey, Nick, I know we don't know each other that well, but I really don't appreciate the aggression toward Jared. He's just trying to help. That's what it said.
Reasonable. Fair and reasonable.
And then he claimed he was being attacked. Yeah, and it just devolved from there. And then eventually I kept trying to like end the conversation, like, oh, okay, so bye. I'm going to go do something else because I have, quite frankly, I have more important and better things to do than argue on Twitter all day. So I kept saying bye, and then I left. And then Nick actually like kept DMing me so he could have the last word.
I hate people like that. I hate people like that. I hate it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where things like fell apart. Now, the thing is, this is like a pattern of behavior, which we'll demonstrate with like Teladia and Robert and Sammy and everyone else like that. But the point is, it's like, again, the only reason why I'm doing this a segment of the stream is because I eventually found out that he was talking, basically talking about us behind our back, particularly Britt. And here's the thing. I don't care what people think of me. I really don't. Obviously, I don't because I blast Lois all day. But exactly. But you know what? The minute you start attacking my friends, people close to me, that's when I get involved, Nick. That's why I got involved.
Hey, I'm the same way. I mean, I might push back a little if they get too overzealous with me, but if you go after my friends, like if you go after Nerdette or even Jared and the others, I'll get involved.
I got your six, brother. So
yeah.
Then, okay, so then I find out. So now that I've explained what led to the final break, these are public tweets. These aren't DMs or anything like that. These are public tweets. I want to be clear on this. I took a screenshot of them. So the tweet that he's referring to is someone saying, give your thoughts on Superman and Wonder Woman. And Nick says,
I've seen that around, yeah.
Yeah, my experience with Super Wonder stance has not been pleasant. They stink of entitlement.
In other words, the moment he's done with you, he's now throwing you to the wolves, revealing, oh, I never really, I was just, you know.
Yeah, essentially. So then it gets worse. So then he says, so someone says, Jessica Unlimited should have pulled the trigger on essentially Wonder Bat. And he goes, yes, if nothing then to make Super Wonder stand splooge out. Someone said that the personalities and stuff, blah, 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 blah. This is where it starts to get toxic. So he says, tell that to those toxic Super Wonder stands. You'll get a 4-hour weekly live stream dedicated to explaining how you're wrong. Now, here's what he doesn't get. Yes, he didn't tag us and explicitly name Britt and I, But the same
It's obvious.
the same people follow him that follow us, and they know who I am. They know I do the Super Wonder streams. So he was essentially saying, like this. It's like there's a certain journalist that works for the Daily Planet whose last name is Lane, but I'm not saying who it is. He's essentially doing that. So you're wrong, and he goes, and we got time for that. And then he started calling us toxic, and he goes, my dude, if you can meet some of these people, you'd understand. He puts air quotes around people. And then this is the worst one. He said, you'd be surprised, but I personally dealt with some of these cretins.
Yep.
Yeah,
These words.
And I go, I'm sorry, I don't appreciate. Yeah, exactly, exactly, Brett. Yeah, we are the aggressors, exactly. He's treating it like we just out of nowhere decided to like attack. And here's the thing. This is why this is like a really crappy situation. The amount of help and the amount of stuff that I have, what people's been going on. Yeah, so I'm explaining that, KHL. The amount, and by the way, first off, do not send any hate against Nick. Do not. I'm telling you there, do not.
Right.
And I'm not telling people to choose between us. I'm just providing the information. If you guys still want to watch Nick, if you enjoy his streams, have at it. I don't care. Have at it.
Just know now, but just know the context.
Yes, exactly. So here's the thing. Actually, before I start talking about all the crap that I've gone through, I'd rather let the other people talk first. So, Robert, you had your hand up first. If you want to start.
I'll start first because mine's probably the lesser out of everyone here by comparison.
Hang on, real quick. KHL, it's Nick from the Phoenix Press. He's a former co-host of this channel. You've probably seen him on my channel a few times.
Yep.
Not to be confused with Nick Lenz, who has collabed with us in the past. I just want to avoid that confusion now.
Yeah.
Yep, and not to be confused with Black Phoenix either.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Okay, like I said, mine's probably the least volatile, but still there. A couple years ago, I was bored. It was Memorial Day. I saw there were people doing streams, so I don't, for the life of me, I don't remember why I reached out to him. I think I was just desperate to reach out to him and ask, hey, you want to come on? Because I remember he's followed me. We followed each other for a while. I just said, you want to come on my show and we can shoot the breeze and everything? It's Memorial Day. Let's just, shoot the shit, basically. That's what I call the stream.
Yeah, and to be clear, you were clear that it was to just hang out and shoot the crap.
Yes, exactly. It was just simply, let's just have a general chit-chat stream. I never said anything. I didn't even know about any campaigns he was doing.
Hi, NJ.
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
So I bring him
what
on.
happened?
I bring him on. We're on. Now, it wasn't a great stream right off the bat anyway. I didn't have that many topics. Eventually started leading me talking about my own character stuff, but then he got getting pushy about talking about his stuff. I finally let him come on, and I'm eventually like, oh boy. I realized then he just snuck his way on so he can talk about this. Can I be blunt? Can I be blunt about it? His crappy campaign. I'm sorry. I am not a fan of his stuff.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's the type of stuff that if he had offered, I would have said, nope, not interested. He snuck it on. And apparently, now, Jared, you tell him what was happening behind the scenes that I wasn't aware of.
So at the same time as this is going on, I'm like hanging out. I'm probably like reading a comic book or like doing a script for an episode. So I get a DM from Nick saying, it's basically blasting Robert behind his back. And then and then I'm saying what's going on and stuff. And then Nick says, I haven't gotten a chance to talk about my comic or anything like that. He's just talking about himself. And I go, did you tell him ahead of time that you were going on to promote your book? And then this is the response I got. Why else would I go on his show? And it's like, and I said, maybe to hang out?
Exactly. It was a hangout stream.
Because they were mutual friends. Because remember, I'm a mutual friend of them. Well, in terms of Nick, emphasis on was. But it's like, at the time, it was a mutual friend thing. It's like, hey, you know Jared, you've seen us stream together. Okay, you want to come and hang out.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, why else would I go on? Because I asked.
Yeah, to hang out. But it's like, but
If
so
I wanted
that was the
to
thing.
cover his campaign, I would have said so up front. He never said it. I never said it.
Yeah,
Was I
exactly.
talking about myself a little bit? I'd be honest. Like I said, looking back, I did kind of talk a lot about my stuff. I perfectly acknowledge that. But like it was more of a case of like, if you got something else to throw it in. But then it was one, and so that's why initially I wasn't against him coming on for the campaign. Is that he kept going on about it. It's like, you're not going to stop, are you? You are not going to stop talking about this.
And then, so I logged in I watched a little bit of the stream, and all I saw was Nick with a puss on his face as you were going over your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. Now, Sammy couldn't make it, but basically she asked me to recount all of her stuff. So
But
obviously,
I just want to wrap up saying, after that, once the Jared told me, I was ticked. I was like, really? Really?
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he blasted me and everything, basically. And I'm like, and Jared, how did I react? I was a little panicky, wasn't I? I was like, oh, crap, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, you were. And it's like, but obviously, now
I know better. Now I know better. But it's like, at that time, I thought, oh, man, was I the jerk? Now looking back, was I a bit of a jerk? Maybe a little bit, but not enough for him to blow his top over.
Anyway, so then, so here's Sammy's experience, and then I'll get to you, Teladia. So with Sammy, so what happened is that obviously we were all in the same friends group in the Snyder fandom, and it's like, so Sammy and so Nick wanted to do like gaming streams on his channel where like I would be on there and heckle him as he did like gameplay and stuff. That was the agreement, because like, hey, that'll be fun content. And then at one point he asked Sammy, hey, do you want to come on and like hang out with us? You can heckle us and stuff. So Sammy's like, okay, cool. So Sammy shows up to the stream. And then it's like, it's a great stream. And then later, and then the next week, she comes on again. And then Nick basically, without asking her, made her a co-host of those streams. And then Sammy says, no, I never would have done, because I don't have a lot of time. So it's like, there's a reason why we're telling you all this, and we'll bring it up at the end. But so that's the first thing. And then it's essentially like, because it's because that's the issue. And Robert, it links to your thing, because the point of this discussion is that, so Nick had this tendency where he would put expectations on you and not communicate with them ahead of time.
And then
like,
blow his top.
He did that with Teladia.
Yeah, and basically then blow his top when he doesn't.
Wait till you get to me.
Yeah, and it's like, honestly, at this point, then he like snapped at Sammy at one point. Trust me, he snapped at all of us. He snapped at Sammy, which it will be a common theme as we go on through this segment. Hopefully, it won't last that long. But essentially, that's like in a nutshell what happened with Sammy, and then throughout the thing, and so that's essentially what happened with Sammy. So then I just want to do one more, and then I'll get to you, Teladia. So
No
actually, so what happened is that someone that wanted to remain anonymous sent me a statement about his experience with Nick. What we're doing is we're establishing that's not just us. So we're trying to do this. So this individual says, for me, the abuse, yes, it was abuse, trickled in offhand comments or indirect collateral damage during one of his many "everyone is against me" episodes, and it wasn't exposed. One day, out of the blue, he insulted me to my face, chat avatar, by making a mockery of me, something I've said in an insulting voice. He stopped himself immediately after he said it and apologized. I told him to F off. Whenever he had guests on that were important, it became a conversation between just the two of them, and everything else said was spoken over and disregarded. That was incredibly annoying and made me question why I was even there. So this individual is like another like indie like writer, and he talks about where like he got to promote his book on like a certain live stream, And Nick got jealous of that and would constantly bring it up to this individual that like, oh, don't worry, I'm glad that you got this opportunity and stuff. And he would keep saying it. And then after the 100th time of him informing me of this backstage before one of his streams, my reply to him was, okay. It wasn't in the tone he wanted. And then Nick essentially blew up at him. And despite telling me that, and then what also happened was, hey, what's up, Tevia? What also happened is, I'm continuing the letter. Despite telling me that I could shield my campaign on his channel, a perk of being a co-host, he said, okay, go, you have 30 seconds, and then cut me off after 15. Later, so the other thing, and this is an issue that I have with Nick. So as you guys know, I run the hashtag campaign for the King Off Wonder Woman thing. And occasionally when the issues launch, we do trending days. And so what I do is I put out snappy tweets with like visuals from the issue and send them out. And then I'll drop them in a few like group chats that I'm in, just to basically like, what's the word? To just basically spread awareness, if you will. I'm not saying you have to participate in it. I'm just saying, hey, here's what we're doing. If you want to, go ahead. So Nick out of nowhere goes, my group chat is not the dumping ground for your tweets. It's saying to this individual, despite the fact not communicating this beforehand, when it's like, if you had told me beforehand, I wouldn't send the tweets, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, so there you go. And then essentially, so the individual continues. His anger reply was basically, talk more. When I explained to him that I don't usually talk in DM groups and asked him if I should just leave if my posting about my campaign was causing problems, he blew up at me. So now I'm the a-hole?
Pretty much.
He then proceeded to flood the DM group with shared posts for the next 2 days. And then this individual said he muted the group and left. But basically that's the thing. And so the individual asked to be anonymous. So obviously I'm protecting their identity and I'm going to respect that. And that's essentially like where this starts. And again, this is not to pick on Nick. This is just to show that like, that when he calls us toxic, this is the pot calling the kettle black. That's why we're doing that. Teladia, please recount.
Yeah. Okay. So when I came onto the stream, he never let me talk. Like he would overtalk me multiple times. And for example, one occasion he blew up in my face and left JJheat's stream. Literally, it was like, I think it was a CLD or a UTC episode. He leaves the stream midway through and we have to re-record it. And it was like, dude, like what what the hell? Anyway, but that's not the only time he's, blown up on my face. On his gaming stream, he expected me to do all the heavy, like check the audio, see if the audio is coming through the stream.
Now, again, I want to ask this. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I want to ask you this. Did he communicate this beforehand?
No. He never told me like beforehand that, to check the audio stream. What? Also, I'll mention this as well. I wasn't the co-host for the channel, for the stream. He said, you were a co-host for the stream. I'm like, I didn't sign up for that. I did not sign up to be a co-host. He blew up at my face, swore at me every name under the sun, and basically booted me out from it. He did that in front of Nick's, which is a good friend of mine, which is another former co-host of Nick's as well, Nick's channel as well. And the thing was, that's not cool. That wasn't cool. And like JJheat said, when Nick blew up on Sammy, I was there when that happened too. So that's not the first time it's happened. And then on top of that, I also got I made his Discord server, right? From the ground up. I built it up and everything. Not and he always used to ask me to do it, but did he say to me, Teladia, I'm super appreciative for all these things? No. And furthermore, I'll even say this: I did his comic on my channel. Nobody really turned up for it,
Same.
and it's
Yeah,
like
that's the thing. It's like look, reviewing indie comics is who we find. I appreciate Sammy, but like it'll be revealed. But it's like indie comics reviewing it is a complicated issue on how to like Spawn. I could do because everyone's searching for Spawn, but like random indie book, that's the other reason why I do all those live, because it's like live streams. A lot of people show up anyway.
yeah. So then I did that stream. It was a dud. It took me about 2 months before I got back on track with my channel. But Nick, to be honest with you, you blew up on my face not once, not twice, not 3 times, but about 4 times. And then when you said on JJheat's stream, maybe one day I can come back on your channel, bro, I'm not getting you back on my channel. I told you.
When you had communicated to him beforehand that he was banned from your channel.
Yes, I literally said to you, you were banned from my channel.
And how do I know this? I was in the Discord call.
Yeah, JJheat was in the Discord call, and literally I said to Nick, "You're not welcome back on my channel, bro. I'm sorry. You're not. We're not gonna do. I'm not going through this rodeo thing with you again, right? I didn't do the gaming stream with him ever again. I never did any content with him because I just felt because he's gonna blow up in my face. And there is a clip of him blowing up, which JJheat will
Shall
play.
I?
Yeah, show him.
So here's the context. So we were doing a stream. This was around the time that Kyle Chandler was announced as Hal Jordan. And I thought, okay, so if Cavill was replaced for being too old, that was one of the stated reasons, by the way. Why are you like casting a significant Justice Leaguer as an older gentleman? So here's what happened, okay? So here's the stream, and
I remember this episode.
Yeah,
yeah.
Give me a thumbs up if you can hear, okay, guys?
Have
Okay.
Hal Jordan die in the show. So in other words, the Emerald Twilight him. So that way, Jon Stewart can be the main Green Lantern. Why else would they cast an older actor as him? Right,
You're
so,
acting like Kyle Chandler is like 80 years old. He's in his 40s.
compared to so the reason why we're getting a reboot is because the actors were too old. That was one of the reasons, and they're casting an older actor as one of the key DC characters.
I get that, but you guys are acting like they casted Anthony Hopkins.
No, we're not.
Like-
We're acting like they should be consistent. Taladia, what'd you want to say?
No, I get why
Taladia had his hand up.
Plus, you were talking about saying senior citizens, and you're talking about.
Teladia had his hand raised. Go ahead, Nick. So what I did was, and I'm sorry, Chainsaw, is just someone was talking behind my back, so I kind of have to like respond to this. I appreciate it, and I look forward to having you on the channel soon.
That's the moment you guys have been telling me about. Good
That's the one.
lordy!
No, it's because, and what I did was I didn't remove him from the stream. I just muted him because I'm like, okay, you know what? And what's up, Parker? I muted him just so Teladia could get a chance to talk, because Teladia had his hand up, and I'm like, because there have been times in the stream where Teladia has had his hand up like a really long time. I wanted to speak, and again, I'm trying to like manage a ton of stuff with like this, making sure it's coming through on Twitter and stuff. So I just want, I want to make sure every one of my co-hosts or at the time have the equal opportunity to speak. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. So what you guys don't, actually, yeah, go ahead, JJheat.
Now, to be fair, outside of our main ensemble, I've only collaborated with Phoenix Nick on 3 separate occasions. In terms of any folly or beef I had with him, I can only attribute one experience. Now, I don't know if this was SnyderCon or DC Fandom. I can't remember off the top of my head at the time of the stream. But this was when I was first coming to the fold, and we were and the 4 of us were vibing together. It was I had just started my StreamYard account, started committing to going back on the YouTube on the regular, and we were going to make a major collab via the entire 3-day event. and we came to a vote, and we were gonna, and at least two of us, me and Nick, was going to go ahead and make a StreamYard subscription so we could co-stream. Phoenix Nick bowed out last minute, so okay, I'll take one for the team, and I agreed to do, and I went and made my StreamYard subscription, which I still use to this day, and I led the co-stream for 2 days back to back. I never directly confronted Phoenix Nick about this. I took it on the chin because I collab with some of the best people on YouTube. I do not regret it, but that is my. But I'm pretty sure. But if I had to name one major beef I've had with Phoenix Nick when we were working with him, it was the fact that not only I had to cover his slot in our original agreement, but I had to do 2 streams back to back while I was getting my master's degree.
I'm sorry you had to go through that, JJheat, but it's like, and the issue is, and it's like with that. So yeah, because and the other thing for people to understand what we were doing then is that, so we each since there was 4 of us, what we wanted to do is we wanted to like stream, because after at SnyderCon, I'm pretty sure it was SnyderCon, we were, you know how like they would do like a commentary, like a panel discussion after each movie. So we each essentially chose a movie. It's like I picked I think BVS or like ZSJL, and then
it was BVS. It was BVS for you. I did Man of Steel, and Nick picked ZSJL.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it happened, because that was the one where Affleck showed up. So yeah, so that's essentially what we mean when we say we voted. But anyway, continuing on. But so now I'm gonna get to me. Now let me put it to you this way: I hold no ill will toward Nick, none whatsoever. I wish him all the best in the world. The only reason why I'm doing this is because when you can personally attack me. I don't care. When you include Britt, Teladia, JJheat, and Robert in there, I know Robert's not a super will understand, but I'm trying to make a point here. When you attack my friends, even offhandedly, then I get really pissed, and then I have to get involved. That's why I'm doing this.
Yep. Don't blame you. Don't blame me. Like I said, I'd have done the same thing.
So again, it's like here's where it gets to me. So what I had to help you guys understand all the help I have given Nick, and yet he treats me like crap, is I made his first intro. He even recorded on my StreamYard because he wanted to have all the accoutrements without and stuff. So I was like, okay, you know what, I'll do that. We only stopped doing that because of logistically I was working, so it was really hard to send send all the recordings and stuff. So eventually we just decided, let's just do it your own way. So what happened was, as time passed, I noticed, so I got a new work schedule. And it's like, eventually, it's like it worked at an inopportune time for Nick. And it's like, I'm like, what do you want me to do? Let me put it this way. Work is my day job is my priority, obviously. So YouTube is a hobby currently. It could turn into a day job. That'd be very nice. But currently, it's just a nice little hobby that I do on the side. So I don't have, that's the other thing. It's like Nick assumes that people have the same commitment to YouTube that he does, where with him, it's his thing. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm like, that's great for you. Not everyone has that option. Continuing on, then essentially, so I did that. I made his intros, even though he basically gave me hell about the intros because he didn't want it in my style. And I go, then why did you ask me to make the intro? Anyway, so it's like, so I did this. It's like I gave him free promotion for the comic. I bought all the comics, oftentimes at the $100 tier. Well, I want to be clear on that. And essentially, the other thing that I did is I brought him out occasionally. If I guess on that he wanted to meet occasionally. And honestly, it's like, so I made all this stuff. I was the one that encouraged him to get streaming, because when we were first starting off, essentially he was like, I'm not okay, Robert. I'm not a streamer or like a YouTuber. I'm a comic book artist, and I said writer, and I said, yeah, but this is a lesson to all you aspiring comic book artists. Have an internet presence on the side, because what that allows you to do is, because when people say, hey, I know like Teladia, let's say Teladia was launching a comic, people go, oh, I know Teladia, he's a cool dude. He's always very positive and stuff. Yeah, I'll back his comic. And there you go. That's the way, that's essentially, it's called marketing. But and eventually he did get that, but it's like I co-hosted most of his original shows with him. So it's like, after my point bringing this up is, after everything that I do, after everything I have done, I'm treated like garbage. I am treated like garbage. And I go, how is that fair?
He takes and takes, but rarely gives.
Well, you forgot to also mention the fact that he privately messaged you about the fact that he got jealous about the fact that when I reached 1,000 subs.
Oh yeah, so when
Remember
Teladia reached 1,000 subs, first off, Nick accused him of buying subscribers. It's because Nick had this, like, I guess it was a fantasy that I would reach a K first, because Teladia reached 1,000 subscribers first. I didn't care. It was like, hey, congratulations, brother. I'm very happy. In fact, I think I even tweeted out, congrats to Teladia for reaching 1,000 subscribers. But he was like really pissy about it. He started attacking the quality of Teladia's channel and his content. And I go, bro, just because it's not for you doesn't mean it's not for a significant amount of people. And it got to the when Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League launched, Teladia and I were streaming and playing it, as you guys know, and we were like really having fun. We couldn't talk about it because every single time that, like, you said something that would like disagree with Nick, or like we were enjoying the game and we wanted to talk about it, he would go, yeah, but the game is flopping, or essentially he would essentially make really snide comments interrupting in there. So eventually it just got to the point where, like, hey, Teladia, we can't talk about like DLC or anything like that. It's like, even when Deathstroke was coming out as a character, and I told him, I said on the stream, I know this isn't going to save the game. And then what's one of the first things he said? Yeah, but this is too late to save the game. And I go, I know that.
It's also when he took snide remarks at me, I'm just like, nah, dude. I'm just like, dude, what? Like, seriously, dude?
What is even the heck?
Yeah, like, and it's like, bro, it's like, look, the thing about it is, like, if Nick is nostalgic for something, he will not accept any criticism of it. And it's like, God, dude, not everyone has the same attachment to this stuff than you do. And then Dave says, I didn't know he had as many things within the sphere, but I'm not surprised. Yeah, it's like, look, because we wanted to like keep it internal, because at this point, because again, I wouldn't be doing this if he hadn't started publicly bad-mouthing Brit and I. So it's like, I was content to just leave it alone and say, okay, you know what, see you, man.
So let's be honest. He's only doing that because he's thinking either one of two things or both. One, he thinks there's more people who are on his side, or two, he thinks there's going to be a lot of people who are going to just take him, believe that everything he says.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my point there. So that's really what I want to say. I'm going to leave it at that. Let's get to a positive to a topic now.
About time.
For those of you that stayed, that's why Nick is not and will not be in any way associated with Comics League anymore. Anyway, let's get to some fun topics. Let's talk about Spider-Man. So we got a trailer for Spider-Man's new threads and new costume and stuff. So I gotta say, Dave says that I can read his DM. Okay, do you mind if I read Dave's DM before we move on?
Sure.
Go ahead.
All right, so this is what Dave told me. So I told Dave that I had issues, and then Dave says, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I've been done with him for a while. A few months back, he was following me around to other people's Twitter threads to debate me on things for whatever reason, which is fine. But after I wouldn't agree with him on some trivial topics, and I was always respectful about it and didn't take it seriously, he sent me a weird message telling me to back off and stop hounding him. I couldn't believe it. I told him not to threaten me and asked what was his problem. He proceeded to insult and yell at me in several more messages, so I told him to go cool off and we can talk again after he apologized for his behavior. After which he unfollowed me and never did apologize, so there's that.
In other words, he wasn't wrong because he felt you were the one who wronged him.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, that's all I'm going to deal with on this. Anyway, back to this. So Spider-Man's new costume. Sorry. Anyone that is still there, I appreciate you sticking around. It's just, I was being attacked. That's why I had to bring this up. So Spider-Man's new threats. So what we got here, so we got some, it's not only the new costume, it's also we got details on Spider-Man's new plot. So he's going to be teaming up with the Punisher, which, yes!
Yep.
And, okay.
They better make a poster that looks like that cover. They better.
They need to. Now, here's the other thing. The Hulk is going to be in this. Now, here's the thing. Can they make him Savage Hulk again?
You know what I think they might do? They might have a point where he gets shot, and there's a point where Bruce is out of the equation.
No, but before we talk about that, let's talk about the costume design, because that is the important key.
Yeah,
the costume.
I'm going to pull that up real quick.
How is it compared to the costume we saw at the end of No Way Home?
Now here's the thing. I think that was the same costume. It's just because remember we were seeing it from a distance, but
and at night,
yeah, and at night. So a key feature is that it's also gonna feature a raised web on the costume, which I think is a pretty cool choice. It gives a little character and some texture and stuff. So I'm gonna go to here. So Sony Pictures teased the new costume. So I'm gonna keep the sound off so I don't get
demonetized, right?
Yeah, destroyed with the stuff. But anyway, so here we go. Hang on, I'll do this. All right, so here we go.
So that reminds me of the Raimi era.
Yeah, it's essentially that. So what we have here, so you see it has the raised webs, which I think that's the coolest. Some more raised webs, and then it's so that's the best shot, and that's why I used it in the thumbnail, because it's look, it's actually a cloth suit. He's no longer Iron Boy.
By the way, since we're talking Spider-Man suits, let me know when you're done talking, because I got a brief topic to bring up myself.
Yeah.
Parker, to answer your comment, you're not missing much, especially within the past few years. You are not missing much.
Well, actually, just read Ultimate Spider-Man. You're good to go, brother. Just read that. That's the good comic. But anyway, so Teladia, what do you think of the suit and the teaser and such?
I gotta be honest with you. It reminds me a mixture of Toby's and Andrew Garfield, but mixed together. And not only that, I have an inkling feeling that you remember that what's it called, Avengers in the Disneyland park, the Avengers suit in the Spider-Man suit.
Yeah.
I think the logo would be similar to that. That's what I have an inkling feeling.
Yeah.
Front logo, I believe. Right? I don't think
something like that. Yeah.
I don't think it'll be same as the ending of what we got at No Way Home. I think it'll be something different, and I'm also expecting the eyes will still be the same, opening and closing and CGI and whatnot. But I also think this time around, he won't have the CGI suit,
right.
No,
I think it'll actually be him in the suit, which I'm like, I see. Here's what I noticed. Spoiler alert for Fantastic Four. When Doom shows up at the end, he's actually in a suit, and it's not like a nanotech helmet or anything like that.
It's semi-practical.
Yeah, so I'm like, I think that communicates to me that maybe Marvel has gotten to the point where they're like, no, we're done doing the whole nanotech.
The fact they didn't do Unstable Molecules should say a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, yeah, because it just got too much like a crutch, and it also really hurts the CGI team. But anyway, so Robert wanted to show me this Venom.
Yeah, because we're talking costumes. I saw some people complaining about this, but the fact they're doing this inverted costume, there is a reason behind it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know what that is?
Which is?
Amazing 252. That's the cover where this black suit came about. So for Venom 252, what perfect way to celebrate than do the inversion?
That kind of works. I like that.
Still feels a little gimmicky, not gonna lie.
Well, it is gimmicky, but come on. How many other chances are you going to have for a 252?
That's true.
It fits the occasion.
But
Yeah.
all in all, so what do you guys think? And also, we got a like teaser of Mr. Negative on a cab. They have his logo.
I'm curious. I think now, will Negative still fall under, if Hulk and Negative being there, does that fall under Grounded still?
Well, I mean, it kind of is because, let me put it this way, compared to like multiverse stuff and like
True.
aliens in space, this is Grounded.
The scale back is needed.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, just imagine Mr. Negative infecting Hulk. Nega Hulk.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, so that's the thing. The synopsis is that Punisher, Hulk, and Spider-Man will fight each other before they unite for like the real threat. And I'm like, that literally describes every single superhero team up movie or comic that's ever existed.
Yep.
I think this is the first. Sorry, I was going to say something. I think this is the first time that Punisher, in I think over 20 years, I'd say.
Yeah, since he had a movie.
Since he's been on the big screen. Yeah, it's been over 20 years since Punisher's on
21 years since Punisher.
If they obviously they're not going to go as like R-rated as they did with like Daredevil or like his own show, but as long as they keep it, as long as you don't like pants him with the MCU, as long as he can like use guns and stuff, I'm fine.
Did you hear also they've shut down 60 streets for a lot of the action?
Oh my God, that's good. Well, if you're using the Hulk, it's like.
Yeah, but 60, I think they meant 60, either 60 separate streets or 60 blocks worth.
If that's 60 blocks worth, that's quite an expanse.
I know.
NJ asked, by the way, do you like the Spider-Man suit to be more armor-like? No, I don't, because that's kind of not Spider-Man's thing. Again,
Iron Boy.
It's like, and NJ, I'm not negatively like, I'm not like, no, it can never be like that because it's not Spider-Man. Because obviously he has armored suits before, but for the main suit, I gotta go spandex.
I gotta say, if anything, if we were ever have an armored suit, why didn't we get the silver armor one? All this time, we never got the proper Spidey armor Mark 1. We never got that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a very obscure suit, admittedly.
And yet for something obscure, it's still recognized with toys and everything, or the fact the cartoon utilized it.
And Teladia, what do you want to say?
I have an inkling feeling that the story that it's going to be the story for Spider-Man Brand New Day, it'll be similar to the 90s cartoon in some way, shape, or form. Like,
I would say so because
sorry, I was going to say, just imagine how Punisher was portrayed on the cartoon, and just imagine that in live action now, right?
Yeah, that's true. And it's
trench
like
coats and all that.
Yeah, it's because back then, Teladia, it's like there was still censorship going on in that show. That's why everyone has ray guns instead of like actual like rounds being shot out of a magazine. But it's like it still worked. I'm hopeful based upon how they portrayed him in Daredevil, and then the way they're explicitly bringing back Frank with guns and making a red band in the comics. I think now again, your boy could be wrong, but Lord knows I've been wrong a lot about Marvel. But the potential is there for them to really impress me with this, because if they come out and it's like straight up like this way, it won't be like again R-rated Punisher, but if it's close, okay, I'm cool with that.
By the way, did you guys hear that the Spider-Man 97 comic is not going to explain how he saved MJ, which probably leaves things a little wiggle room for him to do a cartoon about it.
Yeah, I mean, if they ever did do a continuation of like an animated series,
which they better get some PR on board. They better. I am so tired of that guy getting screwed over.
By the way, that has to be a UTC episode. The animated series is that we want to see like get the X-Men
Revivals.
97 treatment. Yeah, exactly.
Right, but like I said, though,
like
some people
Iron
get.
Man.
Yep.
I am
Oh,
Iron Man.
funny enough, the voice for Tony, and he was the voice for Tony for so long, was the main guy from Airplane.
Yep.
Okay.
But
From
I
the-
will say,
Yeah.
before we move on, first of all, I cannot see Tom Holland doing the shocker scene. I just can't see him pull it off.
Shocker! You think you could hide from me?
I'll hunt you to the end of the earth. Well, here's the thing.
I'll follow you to the end of the
The
earth!
fact that they didn't do that in the game, even though they had the black suit and Shocker in it, I was like,
You had
oh, God
perfect
damn
opportunity.
it.
You guys-
Thankfully, Yuri has done his own,
Yeah,
He-
but
he
not
did a
the
double.
game.
He did a dub over for it. Come on.
He's
Which
done
I'm
a
like,
dub
that's
over.
cool. That's cool. He did a great job with it, so no hate. But I'm like, it was almost there.
Perfect opportunity. but hey,
My guess is there's given how we already know there was so much recording with Tony Todd and everything. I wasn't surprised if they did do it somewhere, but they cut it. Then again, they did kill off Shocker off screen.
Anyway, Teladia, what you had something to add?
I was gonna say, when it comes down to Spider-Man and the Brand New Day itself, I think it's gonna be like New York Comic Con. I think they'll drop the first official teaser, like proper teaser.
at the absolute earliest.
At the absolute earliest will be New York Comic Con, which is in October. Not far away. We've got like 2 months away from New York Comic Con. So I think that's what we're gonna get, like the first official
Yeah.
teaser of.
My other theory is that at New York Comic Con, that's where we'll get at least a Supergirl teaser.
Agreed. Supergirl.
I think at least a teaser, maybe like a motion teaser of like her in front of the logo and like she's in the suit or something like that, or maybe even a short like trailer. But yeah, I think that's when we'll start.
Or they might tease Lobo.
Oh yeah,
So I just think there's rumor now they're giving him more. They gave him more scenes.
because it was just so good. Hell yeah! But and let's be honest, if there's a DC role that Momoa is kind of born to play,
Yeah.
he's Lobo in real life. God,
Yeah, because I always said this. His Aquaman was more Brave and the Bold Aquaman.
And let me put you this way: his Aquaman. Let me put it this way: his Aquaman got me into the character, so it wasn't like it was a horrible rendition of the character. It still worked, but it's like he was acting more like Lobo, and I'm like, yeah.
Yep,
Dave,
I'm just comparing to Brave and the Bold because I always expect him to go away outrageous.
Mhm.
But Dave, to answer your question, yes.
Oh, yeah,
Out of any revival upcoming, yes, Spider-Man 97 is the most likely. The only ones I can't see happening is Teen Titans 03, unfortunately, because again,
Oh, they want to.
a lot of
Justice League
NDA,
Unlimited.
Just League Unlimited, yes, but I cannot see Teen Titans 03 because a lot of the NDAs that went into that show getting wrapped up, and you also have precedent with TTG, and not to mention you have any remaining plot thread was pretty much wrapped up in Trouble in Tokyo. The only way you could even warrant or justify season 6 is a Starfire focused season, and there's not a lot you can do with that unless you're specifically setting up Grayson becoming Nightwing.
Or it could be a Terra returns thing to resolve that ending.
Not enough material.
They won't be able to do it because of one reason, and that is because of the Beast Boy voice actor.
Yep.
Yeah, because but he and Tara both really want to, and I think given everything going on with him, they may be willing to if it will just because he might say, I'm not going to be around for doing this forever.
Mhm.
If I could see Beast Boy's actor, if he requested it as his last wish, or at the very least, if he commissioned it himself, but it would be more akin to what the DCAU did with Justice League versus Fatal 5, something like that. It would be more
Final
akin
movie, yeah.
Yeah, it would be more akin to a final movie rather than a full-on.
Which I'm sure they'll accept that. I'm sure they would accept that just as much. But it's so obvious the actors want to do this before Greg is too weakened to do it.
Yeah, DC and DCAU, you could get away with it with Bruce Greenwood, but it would be a completely different.
You keep saying Greenwood. I keep thinking Craig Smith because he technically did a younger version of Conroy's voice.
Yeah,
For the
exactly.
Arkham games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yes.
the other thing is like KHL talks about Young Justice, but here's the problem with Young Justice: they could, but blame the creators for constantly leaving you guys on cliffhangers. But it's like,
Yeah.
here's the problem: there's not enough of a demand for Young Justice to come back, particularly after the way they, at least in my opinion, doo-dooed the bed with the most recent season.
Don't you mean hurted the bed?
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. But I'm like, the way
Thank you.
really hurt. Maybe they could continue Batman Beyond. What they could
Nope.
do,
With Will said no. Absolutely
Without
not.
Kevin Conroy,
No.
he refused to do it.
what they could do is do like a Green Lantern show with the voice actor that plays Jon Stewart and just focus on him. It's just they won't do. They obviously won't be able to do like any Bat related characters and Justice League.
Okay, if you do a DCAU show and make it a Green Lantern spinoff, that's doable. But you might as well just make it You might as well just make it a direct-to-DVD movie.
In fact, people would rather have the Green Lantern anime series continued.
Which, to be fair, say what you will about Green Lantern 2011, but the show itself was fire.
Oh yeah.
The show was bad. Teladia, have you seen the Green Lantern animated show?
The
2012
The like animated one.
Green Lantern animated series.
The live the CGI animated.
No, the CGI one. I've seen the
Yes.
CGI one.
It's so good. It's basically Star Wars: The Clone Wars, but for Green Lantern. That's what it is.
It's the point where why do you think they keep bringing Razor and now Aya back?
I know.
But
and they recently canonized them in the comics. So.
well, to be fair, Aya was canonized as the AI version back during War of the Green Lanterns. To be fair,
True.
And NJ says, can we get Telltale Batman season 3, please?
no, I'm pretty sure Telltale is on the way out again already.
Teladia had something you wanted to add.
I'll tell you something right now. They're not going to do Telltale season 3 for Batman because there's too much riding on. There's too much backlog with the Wolfmonger season.
Are they even going to do that now with all the other studios backing off?
Here's the thing with the Wolfmonger, because the Wolfmonger season 2, we're still waiting for a release window for that. We have no word on that. And
I'm saying the other company backed out. They're now doing that other game, Dispatch.
Let them cook.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
The thing is, like, Telltale, went back to their own roots, which was the Wolf Among Us, which was the first season was a big success.
Yes.
But this second season, it's been delayed, and we don't know if that's going to come out now. There's no word on that. Even though it's a WB thing, which we'll talk about WB in. I don't know when, but
we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
But it's like a WB thing, and honestly,
it's being backlogged, basically.
Yeah, it's been backlogged.
And here's the thing. Here's the problem with the position that game's in. When you keep delaying something over and over and over again, it makes more financial sense to not release it, because then it's like no one's going to remember that this thing was coming out to begin with.
Well, here again, the other thing is a lot of the game's development was also collaborated by when they did The Expanse, was by the people who eventually went on to do Dispatch. And since they basically wanted nothing to do with Telltale anymore, I think that's the big reason why things have floundered. They've been from what I understand, they don't actually have as many programmers working for them as they let on. That's why they had to rely on that other company.
Yeah, exactly. So now let's move on because we're talking about gaming. So it's like, before you guys hop into this, I need to say one thing. So WB Games is investing in live service again for DC, and I want to say this: didn't they learn the first time?
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
If I may borrow the reference.
Yeah.
How must we teach you this lesson, old man?
Yeah, so
how many times we have to teach you a lesson, old man?
Yeah, so Teladia. Yeah. Explain. Am I in like the Twilight Zone where we keep repeating the same crap over and over and over again?
Okay, But the reason I came on the channel was because of this topic particularly. And I asked Jared, can I come on? Because I knew this was a topic to talk about. So I think personally, when it comes down to WB games, the reason why they've gone back to live service is because they thought that, oh, well, Suicide Squad was a looter shooter based game, so they can't do that again. They have to do something different. And I think what they're going to do now is I think they're going to do a superhero-based game. And I don't think it'll be like a Suicide Squad. I think it'll be something like Avengers level.
Oh, God, that's even worse. Oh, no.
No, it's not going to be that bad, though. Come on, Jared.
All right.
I think what I mean by that, I think it's going to be like on the levels. We don't know what the game is, to be honest with you. We don't know whether or not if it's going to be Marvel. So we don't know if it's going to be Teen Titans. We don't know if it's going to be Justice League. We don't know. We don't know what the game is, basically. I mean, I was being told by various different people, oh, it could be Titans, and I've also made a prediction. It might be Justice League, but I think the whole live service thing, because they see that Marvel is doing live service with Marvel Rivals, so they want to double down on the live service thing.
Of course.
Because they think that, okay, our live service game didn't work with what's it called, multiverses. So they said we're gonna have to do this with the top tier studio, and the only in-house top tier studio that isn't working on a AAA, that wasn't working on a DC project, was with WB Games Montreal, because after Gotham Knights, they canceled 2 games. One of them was a Flash game, and the other one, which was a Constantine game, JJheat, Constantine game that never got lifted up the ground.
Was that the game? Were one of those the games they were talking about in 2023? They were working on a single player game. Was that one of those 2?
Yeah.
Oh, that explains a lot.
That could have been so cool.
And like a whole lot of them.
Yeah, I swear that whenever you do that, man, it's not cringe. It's just that I wish you were in England. You do that impression.
It's just, JJheat, you should become a voice actor.
Bollocks.
So anyway, but when it comes down to the way, because I personally think it'll either be Justice League, or because they have to use the big hitters now, they can't just leave things to language. Either be a Justice League game, or they'll go back to the Flash.
Or Batman.
Honestly,
because if all else, Batman is the Jurassic Park of DC.
No.
When all else fails, Batman.
It's not going back to Batman.
Honestly, and Tevia, good question. I'm gonna get to that. I'll ask the panel. But for me, I would go Justice League, because part of the backlash for Suicide Squad was people have been waiting for so long to see the League, and it's like, then we just killed them. Now I know there's the Arkham League that we also wanted to play as, but my point is they were waiting for like the Justice League themselves in a game. So if I were or Wonder Woman NJ, but that's like way more complicated. But in terms of like a league game, and you can have Wonder Woman be the lead, like how about a League of One game? Anyway, but it's like essentially like it's a way of them like course correcting, but still make it, because here's the thing. For some reason, Zaslav and like the WB heads have like an obsession with live service, even though their live service game flopped and their single player game, Hogwarts Legacy, was the highest selling game of the entire year it came out.
But the thing is, here's the thing with WB, is that the thing is, they think that because of the success of Hogwarts Legacy, they think that it'll be for every game. It doesn't work that for every game. Depending on the game you do, like if you're doing a looter shooter based game like Suicide Squad, that's gonna fail from get-go. And it did, because the higher ups, Sefton Hill and Jamie Walker, left the studio before they even the game studio. But if you play with your friends, that was fun. Like me and Jared did, we had fun playing it together.
It was a blast. I loved it.
We were just enjoying playing that. But even with Gotham Knights, when that released, that was a live service game, but they took the live service element out of the game.
But it was so painfully still there.
But it
You
was
could
still
tell where the live servicey elements were going to be
The
implemented.
constant repeat, wash, rinse, repeat mission. How you gotta wait some time before you can go do them. You gotta go. The fact that it was so painfully long to get across town.
You know what was the worst part about Gotham Knights for me?
Mhm.
So you know how there were missions where you have to like take out a certain like gang groups. I used to have to wait for like the mutants to show up, so I was constantly going back and forth into the belfry to reset the world so that please spawn mutants.
So I was also going to mention this. I also there's 3 IPs that I can see WB Montreal tackling. So the first one obviously is Justice League. The second one being Superman, and the third one being a Teen Titans game. Whichever one it'll be one of those. I don't see them tackling Wonder Woman because Wonder Woman's been put on the shelf right now, and they're not gonna go batting for Wonder Woman game now after the the cancellation of the previous Wonder Woman game. They're not gonna say, "Oh, why don't we make a Wonder Woman game that is live service?" It's not gonna sit well with fans.
Dave makes a good point.
Yeah, Dave brings up that my only hope for this game is to have a very loose definition of live service. Like here, and Robert and I were actually talking about this early today. What I would do if it has to be live service, like let's say it's a Superman game, Teladia.
Yeah.
Let's just make the live service like every month we release a new suit from his like history, or like a DLC level that you can play, but the base game
is single
like
player.
Straight up, just a complete single player game.
So something like Batman Arkham Knight. Like,
essentially, yes, exactly. So you could do kind of that with the, so that way you could do like the minimal amount of live servicey BS, but then still ship like still satisfied WB, because you can't tell me that's going to make like less money.
I just hope that WB Games Montreal comes out and makes a statement on the whole live service thing, because that needs to be a thing now.
Yeah, I think they should know that's going to be a death nail before they even get started.
Yeah,
because I bet you they're thinking, "Oh shoot, how did someone find that?"
No,
exactly.
Because it was in the job listing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm sure they're like, "Oh shoot, how did somebody find that?"
But
exactly.
There's a problem.
There's
a problem with that, because the job listing is on their website and also on LinkedIn. There's nothing they can do about it, and they're purposefully looking for someone that is in the live service industry. Then they're not looking like. Do you remember how Suicide Squad is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't. That was not. They didn't have the people that were in the live service, elements of things. They straight went into it. That's what the team was for Suicide Squad. Same with Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights, the team who worked on Gotham Knights, they weren't the team. They weren't basically live service people. Basically, that's what I'm trying to get at. These guys they're looking for somebody that is in the live service element. So I think personally, either WB Games or WB Games Montreal should come out and make a statement saying it's not what you guys think. It's not
exactly.
Either they say it's a live service game, but it's not what you guys think, or they say it's a live service game and it's something that will blow your minds off. That's what they got to say.
And we'll see. And by the way, Enzo, in terms of a new DEC fighting connected Mortal Kombat, it's done by WB. It's as far as we know, it's not going to be done by the Mortal Kombat people, right?
No, the new DC fighting game. Wait, when does the new DC fighting game?
No, I think that Enzo wants that.
Oh, so a new DC fighting game is only going to be done by NetherRealm. It's not going to be done by any other studio. I can tell you.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like. Plus, you guys know I would rather see Injustice burn in the ash heap of history, but still. But if it has to come out, I know, it sells too much. See, now I have to abide by the fact that DC's a business, and if this sells well, okay, tough. I got to go with it. But it's like, yeah, exactly. But it's like, look, it's like, if it has to happen, can you at least? We've talked about how to
retcon, so I'm not gonna like roll up with that. But essentially, like the way I kind of see it is like this is a wait and see moment.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's live service is when I'm like, it's not the end of the world. Let me put it to you that way. But it's a
Warning bells, red flag.
it is a blaring siren. What do you want to say, Teladia?
Do you think it's going to be a part of the DCU? Because you remember James Gunn did say video games are going to be part of it. Do you think it's going to be a part of that? Because if it is,
but then he kind of went back on that though.
No, he hasn't gone. He hasn't made a statement saying I'm gone back on saying blah blah blah. So, I think that it could be a DCU game, but also at the same time it could not. But if it is,
you have gone all robot.
Sorry, as I was saying, if it's a DCU game, great. If not, then I don't know. I don't know what to think because it could be a single player story driven game that's live service.
I hope. Give me that. I will take that.
Mm-hmm.
Dave is saying since Marvel is no longer working with Capcom on fighting games, DC should move in.
And now when they have NetherRealms, no.
No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that, Dave. I'm sorry. There's too much money to be made with NetherRealm, and that's the case.
And NetherRealm's fast. They're fast.
Yeah, because it's like what? Well, because here's the thing: when they have like because they already have the engine and stuff that works, and it's.
Yeah, they got 2 engines to go from, too.
Mm-hmm.
Jared?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
I was just... I thought you got cut off. I thought you got cut off.
Yeah, what do you want to add, Robert?
I just said they had 2 engines to go from.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like they have that, and it's like... I know it's probably way more complicated than this, but it's like... They could like swap them in and out and stuff. So there's any number of things that they could really do there.
By the way, since we're talking about video games, can I bring up some other gaming news that I heard about?
Yeah. Go ahead.
For one, we're finally getting Darksiders 4.
Oh hell yes!
And yes, it's all 4. It's continuing from 1. No more flashback. None of that. We're finally continuing with all 4 of the Horsemen.
So let me see. We've had War, Death,
Strife, and Fury.
Okay, so we're gonna be playing a Strife.
No, we're playing as all 4 because technically that middle game, that add-on game was the Strife game.
Oh, interesting.
The top-down shooter where you had war with you. That was the Strife game.
The opportunity is there for a 4-player co-op.
Maybe it seems like it, but you have that, and apparently BioShock Remake got canceled a while earlier this year, and now they're having a shake-up on BioShock 4.
Mm-hmm. And has everyone on this panel seen the trailers for Battlefield 6?
Yep.
Yes,
that looks freaking badass. I'm getting that game. That looks badass.
I thought you might. I thought you might.
As soon as I saw that, and I love where my favorite thing. This is how they market directly to me. Someone asked them about like what skins and stuff, if they would have like really outlandish skins. So someone says, yeah, but we're a modern military shooter. If it's not something that a military would not employ, we're not going to like employ it. So I'm like, so no like crazy Fortnite skins. Suck it, COD.
Uh-huh.
And then Tabia says, question, what is going on with Judas, the BioShock game inspired by Ken Levine? I have no idea.
Oh, that game? No idea. Hit Ken Levine's next game?
Oh,
no clue.
I was going to mention this. Yeah. Marvel Tokens of the Marvel fighting game that just recently got announced a couple of months back. They recently showed some new footage, right, of how to play the game and whatnot, right? It looks really, really cool. Like state transition and all of that stuff, right? And it was because it was at Evo. I think that they might be dropping something very, very soon. I think probably at Gamescom, because Gamescom is this month, and a game is coming out. They're still working on the game. It comes out next year. Now, I wonder, Jared, are we gonna get some movie skins from Avengers Doomsday?
Oh,
and
for sure. Oh,
for
for
this
sure.
game?
Oh, for sure. And you know we're gonna get Marvel Rival skins as well. I wouldn't be surprised if next year they add Doom.
Jared, take a look at what I just sent you on Twitter.
All right, hang on. Let me see this. Right. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah. Wait. Okay. So let me get this straight.
That's a cover.
It's a cover. So we're getting Jason Scott Campbell covers, just covers. It's not stories, but covers of Psylocke and Huntress. They're going all in on this crossover thing.
And from what I'm saying, also DC is going to have backups too. They just haven't announced the teams yet.
Oh, that would be dope.
Because their book is the one that comes out later.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. That's gonna be fun. But anyway, so Teladia, what you want to add?
Also, Invincible's fighting game. That's another one we should.
I'm gonna stream that, as a matter of fact. It's like the idea that they also have a story mode in that as well, and I go, yep, you checked off all of the like check marks that I need. It looks dope as hell, and the fact that it's in the comic book style and stuff, I'm like, yes, you are literally fulfilling everything I need.
I've been keeping up to date every, I think it's their TikTok account, because they post on their TikTok quite regularly of every bit of information that they can, because they don't post it on YouTube or Twitter or Threads. Everything's on TikTok. So I watch all their videos of the deep dives of each individual character, how they're going to play, and all of that. And I'm just like, I think next year is going to be the biggest year for fighting games. You got Marvel fighting game, you got this Invincible fighting game, we got the MK Legacy collection that's coming out as well, and then on top of that, possibly Injustice. That's a possibility. I know, Jared.
No,
it's gonna be the year of the fighting games. That's putting it out there.
All right. So you guys want to talk about Peacemaker in the DCU?
Yep.
Might as well. Yeah.
So it's not just Peacemaker that we're going to talk about, because Peacemaker is part of it, but we're also going to talk about the other DCU news. Like, we basically got confirmation that Authority got canceled.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which,
they tried.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, okay. So that I guess that I anticipate. I thought it was Authority because we knew next to nothing about it. So it's like, yeah, but in terms of so Gunn clarified on what's the canon so far. So the canon is obviously everything from Creature Commandos and on, but in terms of Peacemaker, anything they reference in the previously on Peacemaker thing, and it's anything they directly talk about on the show is canon. So it's they probably won't talk about, hey, remember when the Justice League showed up and showed up late and stuff? So I'm like, okay, and I really hope that at least he explains. Okay, so are you because he does say the show will also explain the transition from the EU to the U. So I'm looking forward to seeing if he does that in a non-confusing way.
I have an inkling feeling of what it might end up being.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you remember in the trailer when Peacemaker goes to the other reality where the Peacemaker's a hero and all that? I think that universe, right? That universe Peacemaker will come over and he'll be the hero for this universe, and he'll join the Justice Gang. I have an inkling feeling that might be the case.
Yeah, I can kind of see that, and it's at least, it's and then he essentially kills the actual Peacemaker of that Earth and replaces him. Yeah, that's my theory too. So I'm that kind of makes sense in that. And then Dave says, "I'm wondering if Peacemaker season 2 is basically going to be a crisis event that bridges the universe, something like that." I think Gunn basically said that, but hey, it's I know I've been very critical of Peacemaker as a show and a concept, but it's
you have me interested because I want to see how he explains like the transition over, because he says it's going to be simple, but I'm like, okay, so let me see this, because the last time you kept explaining stuff, we got Kryptonians being evil. So you know what? I want to try this out. I want to see his thing in there. Now I will say, yeah, go ahead.
In that trailer, I don't know if you saw the trailer, but they showed the multiple universes, right? One of them with the skull.
Doors, yeah.
Yeah, the one of them with the skull. I think that you remember. I don't know. You didn't watch Creature Commandos, so
yeah, I did.
Well, you only saw 4 episodes, so you didn't see the Superman.
I completed it.
You completed it? Okay. So in the Superman, with the one where they saw the Superman and Batman, all of them on the thing, I think that's in that universe.
And maybe Cersei, in reality, she wasn't like necessarily predicting the future. She was showing Waller like as unknowingly a vision into the alternate reality.
That would be interesting.
That you could probably work with that. Actually, that's actually not a bad way to do it, Teladia. Not bad. Dave also says probably some Flash movie reference in this season. I wonder if Flash will make an appearance. Well, for one thing, I don't think Ezra is going to show up, but they might show like Flash from like the back or something like that, or reference the Flash.
Probably reference that event happened, but then it's like, not our Flash, some other Flash.
Yeah, okay. But it's like, and overall, it's like with the DCU, at least now, an interesting thing happened, NJ, particularly. I'm naming you particularly because this is going to interest you. So apparently, the woman that's writing Wonder Woman, according to Gunn, what happened was she was also writing the Teen Titans movie. But because they're reprioritizing Wonder Woman, she's put Teen Titans on the back burner and is focusing on Wonder Woman.
So in other words, fine-tuning the initial Teen Titans draft is on the back burner. That's why you could say, oh yeah, they had it. He never even said he never read it yet.
Yeah, so you know what? That actually,
that tracks.
And I'm going to say this. Robert, isn't it great to hear the words Wonder Woman and priority in the same sentence?
Yes.
That doesn't have a not in front of it?
Yep. And MJ, that's not how she works.
That was an avatar. Yeah, I know, because it's like Cersei's weak, but maybe she gets stronger later. So
yeah, because again, Cersei does not use avatars. That's like a dark side thing. That's some other characters, but Cersei has never. She might use a fake, but not an avatar.
Yeah, so we'll see on that. But
modern depictions of Cersei establish her after she gets amped up by Hecate.
Yeah,
one of the few who didn't.
So I was going to mention this as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
They said in the press that 6, 7, and 8, episodes 6, 7, and 8, they never showed it to the press. It was only the first 5 episodes, I believe, they showed to the press. So they want to keep that under wraps. So
that's probably where they explain a lot of the weird continuity stuff.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the most crucial bit. Is 6, 7, and 8 is the most crucial bits of.
Makes sense, because that's kind of how it was even for season 1.
Yeah, so that kind of works, and I like that. That's kind of cool with that.
I gotta ask, what's one character you would like them to bring back from season 1 that got killed off,
or deleted for that matter?
Well, here's the thing: does it have to be in Peacemaker?
No, it doesn't have to be. Someone you would like to see, but
they can. But as a flashback, Rick Flag Jr.
Yep. I would like. Yeah, I still want that female cop back. I liked her before she got possessed.
Me too. And they could, because according to Gunn, some of the events happened, and some didn't, and not in the same way. So it's like you could roll with that.
Because I think from what I understand, a lot of people were annoyed they had her be possessed. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, you could do that, and you know what? That would be really cool with that.
I would say, I'm just, again, with what NJ just said, no, that's not, and not really.
But I will say, Cersei getting soloed by Weasel, that was kind of BS.
That was BS. I will agree with that, but she should not, she would not be able to, a weekend or pre-Hecate Cersei would not be able to solo the entire team. I'm sorry, NJ, but no.
All right, but the other thing that are you guys tracking this Batman this Aztec Batman movie?
Ah.
I'm not interested. So it looks, honestly, it doesn't look good. Anyway, so it's what you want to say, Teladia? You had your hand up.
Yeah, I was gonna say as well. James Gunn did say if they're deleted, they're deleted, meaning kaput. If they're kaput, they're kaput. They're not gonna come back.
But
So-
again, it's like let me put it this way, Robert. Unless they show the female cop like being like in.
Oh yeah, obvious. That's what I'm saying. I hope we get her back. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, if they do that, yeah, I would be fine with that, and maybe she becomes a character or something.
Because obviously, since we're seeing his dad, it means some people that died there aren't going to be dead in this world, which is something that he's made clear. Because they're doing the old Savage Dragon, replace them with an alternate universe.
Also, here's a question I got for you, gents, and I'll start with JJheat on this one. So Gunn did confirm that characters that are important to the future of the DCU will show up in Peacemaker Season 2. What characters do you think those are? So, JJheat, I'll start with you.
Okay, for me, characters that he's prepping, I want to say Nightwing, Static Shock, and Static Shock is in the middle of a licensing dispute. So, if I can't use Static Shock, okay, Nightwing, John Stewart, because they're preparing with lanterns, and maybe Zatanna. Those are my three, but I see Zatanna being the weakest of the three here.
I could see that work. I could see that working. How about you, Teladia?
I think Superman. I would
say so.
I think that's a fair point. I also think we possibly get. I don't think Batman. I think maybe who was it in Peacemaker? I know we're getting Hawkgirl and Green Lantern. Metamorpho would be a crucial character. I think it will be in season 2.
Okay, I could go with that. That's honestly believable. I could go with that. And then Dave says Hal and John. Yeah, they could in order to like transition over, but it's like I would also say obviously like Amanda Waller and such and stuff. So we could go with that. So there you go. But I think...
You're not gonna wait. You're not gonna ask me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Robert. I'm tired. I'm sorry, bro. I had a long week. Go ahead.
I don't blame you here. You're about to go right past me. But as far as who I think, obviously, safe bet with Peace Go with some of the ones they've had cast already. So probably, you know what? Since you guys said Superman, I'll just say maybe Lois, maybe someone like that showing up, or Jimmy.
One show without that woman.
Or Jimmy.
All right.
But as far as if they want to do a surprise reveal, I wouldn't mind seeing Zatanna or some other B-list, C-list character.
How would you like me to make your life a living hell?
Well, I'm not really ready for a relationship, Lois, but thank you for asking.
I'm not gonna blast that meme, I promise. Engineer is also realistic because like she was associated with like the response to Superman, so you could go with the Engineer as well.
Right.
Maxwell Lord, obviously.
Well, we already know we're going to see him. We're already going to see him in that one scene.
I would not be surprised if what they do at first is they set up. It's like I wouldn't be surprised if like maybe they not necessarily do. Here's the way that they could do Lord. Here's my theory. Here's what I think they could do. Could, emphasis on could. They lead to like the OMAC thing, but here's the way I would twist it. Because Robert, you are right. It's like so they don't have to do like the sudden heel turn into total villainy. They essentially do the suit of armor around the world where he's trying to create like a defense system because the metahumans aren't going to be able to protect us forever. But it like infects him and takes him over, and that explains why he turns bad all of a sudden.
Right.
So it's not like he like becomes like this big villain. It's like
No, he's a little more tragic in that.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they show news like how Peacemaker, spoiler of course, showed up in Superman movie. Yeah, that I'm sure they would do that as well, particularly since Peacemaker is taking place after Superman.
Right.
I also would not be surprised if maybe like they're interviewing Peacemaker because like maybe Master Terrific was fired from the Justice Gang for helping Superman.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you could go with that. But so what other final theories do you guys have before we wrap up this topic?
I got nothing.
All right. So let's wrap up this.
Wait,
yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Fantastic Four drop off.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about that. So the thing about the Fantastic Four is that it is doing like it opened up pretty strong, but a 60% like drop. That's not good. And by the way, Dave, that last character on the mural probably was Maxwell. If it was Firestorm, they would have had at least like half of him being the Firestorm thing.
Yeah, yep. I will say this. Here's what I think the issues with Fantastic Four is. It doesn't have that much rewatch value.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the biggest problem. That's one thing I heard from a lot of people and who watched it was, Superman, you felt like, I want to go watch it again. Fantastic Four, not so much.
Yeah, exactly. And that's,
even if they were saying it was better, still not that much.
It's like you have people seeing Superman for the 5th time. So I'm like, see, here's the thing. I saw enthusiasm for Fantastic Four and stuff. Nowhere near the enthusiasm I saw for Superman. You know what? Again, if Superman makes more than Marvel, particularly, it doesn't. I don't care like the box office stuff for Superman, even if it does like make $1 billion or something like that. The fact that DC beat Marvel, that in and of itself is an accomplishment.
Barely, but yes.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. Go ahead, JJheat.
I will go ahead and say this. First of all, you got to factor diminishing returns in all of this. The Infinity Saga was over the course of 10 years of pure momentum, hype, peak moments, DC's decline. It's just there were so many contributing factors. And not only that, trends in pop culture come and go. So let's but at the end of the day, optics aside, phases 4 and 5 range from mid to egregiously bad. Only 2 MCU projects post Endgame I would definitively consider bad.
So you're telling me you didn't enjoy Ironheart?
Of course not. I mean,
the silence is all I need.
But I'm not gonna go too much into the whole Ebediah Stane because all that speaks for itself. I go into more detail in my video, shameless plug, please bear with me. I do go in a bit more detail about it in my Ironheart review when I was fan requested, but the short gist of it is it just boils down to being dated as heck, because I know Jared likes to keep things PG, so I'm not gonna curse. But it just screams 2020. It just screams the time it was produced. And they really should have just Batgirled. Should have followed Zaslav's direction and just Batgirl this crap. You would have been better off.
Yeah, exactly. And Dave brings up a good point. It's like, could this also be, the movie's good, but it's also the like overall negative perceptions of the MCU as a whole? Because
that I would agree to that. That's fair.
It's like you could have a good movie, but it's like if the past few movies have been like falling apart, it's like you kind of have to anticipate that.
Right, definitely.
Yeah, but I think that's a good place to.
Well, I want to bring one other thing that, and this is just for me giving out a recommendation, guys. Watch Naked Gun.
Yes, and speaking of which,
see it, and stay through all the credits.
Speaking of which, Naked Gun is going to be movie night this week. The original Naked Gun movie.
Yep, it's on Pluto TV to anyone who doesn't have it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then so we'll do that. But anyway, so I think that's a good place to leave it. Again, I apologize for the beginning of the stream. but it's like it had to happen ultimately. So any of you guys that stuck around, I appreciate you. And Teladia, where can we find you, and what have you got coming on your channel?
Okay, so you guys can check me out on YouTube at Teladia Plays and on X at Teladia Plays _. What I got coming up on my channel is tomorrow I'll be recording and uploading my thoughts on the WB Games Montreal live service thing. I'll be doing that, uploading it, and then on Sunday, guys, I will be doing a spoiler stream for Superman, and I'll be having a couple of guests on as we'll be discussing Superman extensively. I was supposed to do it last week, but couldn't get that done. But this week I'm getting it done for sure. Then next week, guys, I'll be doing a gaming stream with Jared as we're playing some Marvel Rival.
Heck yeah. And JJheat, how about you?
As for me, you can find me at JJheat75 or JJheat Plays. Stage, as I previously mentioned, my Ironheart video that's finally being in the works. New Direction versus coming back with Heroes in Crisis. I want to get that done next week, as well as part 2 of my September and October DC solicitations with Nick Lenz and Robert. Oh, and also I Pro versus New TMNT X Naruto crossover that should be released within the next week or 2 as well.
Yep.
Yeah, hell yeah. And I believe we are going to do Heroes in Crisis, correct?
Yes, I am pushing for either this coming Wednesday or this coming Thursday.
Okay. And then Robert, how about you?
I got plenty of Pro Teaches Noobs in the can. I got a lot of movie reviews in the can, including my Bond retrospective. Yeah, I got enough all the way up through October.
Yeah, it's like I visited your channel because I was gonna watch some of the Supergirl episodes you did with Britt, and I'm like scrolling, and I go, how far back did this guy plan?
To be fair, a lot of these were backlog, especially the Bond retrospective.
Yeah, but my hat's off to you, dude.
Yep, we got 28 videos for that monster, and then we still have the rest of the Naked Gun videos, Beverly Hills Cop, and going over Watchmen Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, and The Watchmen Show. Heck yeah. Can I give you a little teaser about that one?
Sure, of course.
You're not going to believe it. When we got up to episode 8, and if you watch the show, you know which episode that one was. Right at the start, my friend was saying, of that episode, he said, this has to be one of the best shows I've ever seen, dude. End of that episode, what the hell did I just watch? If you know which one episode 8 was.
I may have to watch it just for that.
Obviously, we're talking about this after the fact. I'm telling you, though, from in live moment of us going over it, he was saying he was loving it. That as the episode went on, he's like, oh, come on. And then by the end of it all, it went from way up one of his favorites to it was all right.
Yeah, exactly. But okay. As for me, so obviously, again, tomorrow's the Naked Gun. Super Wonder Legacy is going to be pre-recorded, releasing on Monday, and Britt and I are going to be reviewing the Justice League Action animated series because that's like a really fun, a fun little cartoon. I'm going to be doing Amazon Answers on Tuesday because I got a busy day on Sunday, so I won't get a chance to do it. But I'm going to be discussing Wonder Woman Earth 1. And in terms of Wonder Woman Wednesday, I'm going to be Robert, when I tell you the topic for this Wonder Woman Wednesday, I want you to know I go into this of sound mind. And I'm doing it talking about why Wonder Woman's a better character than Lois.
You're lucky I'm not on video cam right now.
I know, but I'm doing it. I know I'm going to get heat for that, but you know what? Screw it. I might as well.
Dude, you're so lucky I'm not on cam right now.
Yeah, exactly. And then pretty soon I am going to be having a Chainsaw Reacts on the channel. He and I have been like talking to talk about stuff. And in terms of like other content, Under 2Ks, I don't think we've established like a topic. So you know what? This week on Under 2Ks, we're going to be talking about which comic book animated series we would like a revival and how we would do it. So
that works. Unless something else pops up.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, stay at work, everyone. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lame. She plays Zod. Zoe is the Maxibat for life. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.